That's so funny.
Which
Do this every
pill? We
time.
don't know. We don't even care. 'Cause you shouldn't be taking any of it. I'm co-host Evan Mastronardi, and I do lots of things that make me no money. And some of those things are podcasting, comedy, acting, and writing, and job searching. And oh yeah, we always do a Dave Anthony opening. So I am yeah, cat parent. Uh, sweat. Oh, this is my friend's brand, Black Matter Apparel. Black Matter
Mm.
Apparel wearer. And oh, a flat beer drinker because this is flat and I'm still drinking it. So that's happening here. And Olivier and our special guest, please introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'll go first. My name's Olivier. I'm a father of one child. I am a PSG supporter. And yeah, Evan, you can't keep doing this to me, man. Every single episode catching me off guard. It's not fair. All right, it's not fair. I like to be
What keeps it?
semi-professional.
Yeah, and then we have a special guest, Olivier's friend and now friend of Pilled Podcast.
We'll see, we'll see if that sticks after the episode airs. I might have to disavow. We'll see what happens. Um, I'm Kevin Brown, engineer by trade, tie dye wearer, and bubbly water drinker.
Oh, ooh,
Did
I
you
died.
did you
Not
pull sparkle
champagne, like yeah, sparkling. I was like,
sparkling
wait,
water?
people might think we're rich out here. It's not. No, it's not like that.
No,
It-
champagne
is
has
it?
to come from champagne. I I get sparkling stuff sometimes too, but the champagne I save for special occasions.
Is it
Fair.
is it flavored? Is it flavored spark bubbly water or
Um, Usually yes. If I'm gonna put espresso in it, no.
hold
Espresso.
up, time out. Time out. I heard what you said. I need to process what you just said. You put
Ye-
espresso with bubbly water?
Yeah. When you go to like a decent cafe, if you order espresso straight up and you stay, they will normally give you some sparkling water on the side as a palate cleanser. I just happened to already like sparkling water by the time I started drinking espresso. And like 2 summers ago, when I had an espresso
Oh,
machine for like three
I'm
years, I
gonna
was like, let's just
I'm
peanut
gonna
butter
tell
chocolate
you
those.
something. I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna blow your fucking mind. Are you ready for cola espresso?
Oh, it's probably delicious. If I wasn't cutting back on soda more, I'd probably be in there
Now,
all day.
that is one of my favorite drinks. It is a very Italian drink. It is called Manhattan Special.
Mm.
And they have them they still sell them at some stores. It is one of my favorite things to drink. So I'm with you. I just like to add a little bit of flavor to that water. And first background noise of the night
Is it your cat?
is that vacuuming?
It's yeah, it's you.
Oh yeah, it definitely is me. It definitely is me.
No, you will hear my cat. If if it's my cat, it's gonna sound like I have one child, like you, Olivier, because he doesn't sound like a cat. He will announce himself, though he's not a dependent, which still
Wait,
pisses me off. Anyway, let's go to our sponsor who doesn't exist. Absolutely nothing. Still sponsoring us, and one day maybe you will sponsor us for real. And then I still have Absolute Vodka from I don't even know how long I've had this damn thing. So I've had it forever. Anyway, yes, welcome to Pilled. So today's Pilled's a little different, not just because of our special guest, but Olivier provided me with all the content today. Uh,
Ooh.
this time, usually it's the other way around. One of them is from Dr. Taraban. We can do that one for this week in men. And but we'll start out with what you sent me. I'm sorry, I forgot the. Can you say the YouTuber's name and platform and introduce it?
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the YouTuber's name. When my wife comes around, I'll ask her for the name because I truly despise this person. Right? Not as a
YKI.
person, right? Not as a person, but as a YouTuber. Okay? Because the
Okay.
thing they say and do to me pisses me off so much on a daily basis.
Like in a good way or like a bad way though.
Horrible way. I will admit though, she is very entertaining. For strictly entertainment value, I understand people like her. But for the
Yeah,
thing that
my
she
cat's
says and the
under.
vow that she says all the time, I'm like, what are you doing, lady? You're 40 years old, 40 plus, and you're still fighting like you're 16. Like that's just it. Just doesn't look
Ooh,
good. It just doesn't
yeah.
look good.
Many such cases
Yeah,
across
but you know.
genders.
Like I told Olivia, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Oh, great! Now my internet's starting to freeze. Sorry, guys. Um, my like I told Olivia, like entertaining doesn't cut it for me when you make that much money off things. Any of us who have taken the 4, 5, or 6 trains know what entertainment is. Okay, we've seen it live. That's entertaining. Okay,
Mhm.
that doesn't get millions of dollars. Showtime, whomever is the star of the show that day, on the green line, does
Oh,
not get anything.
Showtime.
So not entertaining enough is not enough for you to make money off YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm just one of those people. Also, because I think we're entertaining and people would rather support the manosphere than give us a fucking dime. So, but anyway, hopefully one day that will change. And that's why we're here. But okay, so besides the fact that you don't like her and we're going to get more information from your wife, yeah, tell the rest of the lead up and who this is.
Yeah. So my wife has been a guest on the show, a special guest, a few times. Either adding some
The
commentary about.
ultimate guest.
I mean, yes,
The
honestly.
ultimate guest.
Well, it's more so in the sense of
Men
like
watch
Evan and
these
I.
shows to get ideally to have a relationship with a woman. That's why they would listen to broadcasts. That's the ultimate like thing. And he's married, so that's the number one guest right now. But anyway,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so again, so Evan and I will watch videos of Dr. Taliban, Scott Galloway, whoever it is, a bunch of different or red pill guys, and be like, hey, they'll say something really wild, something stupid, and then be
True.
like, hey, go tell your wife this thing, and I'm like, yo, say less, and I'll go.
say that.
Not making her a guinea pig.
Instant
Oh
wife
no.
reaction. Only Filled offers instant wife reaction. No one else does that because these other podcasts, either women that are also red pilled are on it, or there's no women to be found. But
True.
anyway,
Yeah, so I'll go and like ask her for her honest opinion, but like, what do you think about this? Think about that, and 9 out of 10, she either goes like, the fuck, like, yes, I still love you, or that one time she's like, or that 1 out of 10 times she's like, oh, that's different and weird, and I know you're pretty weird as an individual, so
So when she says she still loves you, is it because you keep subjecting her to these so you have to check? Or is it because of the ideas of the thing?
I'm gonna say yes because like I do weird. Okay, hear me out. Hold on, let me hear me out. Right, like in the morning before everything even starts. Right, I'll like whisper in like I'll tap her. I'm like, hey, I know we've been married for like a few years. We have a kid together, but are you still in here? Are you still? And she's like, yes. Let me go to sleep. I'm like, all right, cool. Just making sure because if
that's
you
kind of
want to
funny.
leave, I understand. I get it because
Understand? Oh
because
no.
because because my weirdness is very much anime-esque type of things where like I'm standing in front of the mirror, I'm trying to go Super Saiyan by myself. That's what it is.
You don't go Super Saiyan with anyone else. Unless they've
I'm
already done it and you've
Well,
already
yeah,
done it. So
right.
I'm just I'm
Super
just I'm
Saiyan
just
is an
saying,
individual journey. Yeah.
right? Yeah,
yeah.
it's either that or I get very very passionate about education or the current political aspect of the world as a whole, and I just go on a
Or
rant
NBA
about it for about
2K.
or NBA 2K,
For
right?
NBA.
And I go to rant
Yeah.
for about 30 minutes. I'm like, you still good? She's like, yeah, it's fine. She's like, she's like, because that's the reason why I married you, because you're passionate, you have emotions, and you show them. I'm like, are you sure?
There we go.
So, yeah. I just did a quick Google. The YouTuber name is Tasha K. That's all I know about her. That's all I know. and she's sued by Cardi B for $4 million for
Did we
defamation.
lose someone?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's quite the act. What did she say? This that got your wife to.
That's it. I told you. They get my boy every single time.
I was like, wait, did he just say did we lose someone? I was like, no. Precognition.
Right? It's they almost do this every
Do
episode.
we-
They get my boy.
Do we pause the recording while he
No,
comes
we don't.
back?
No,
Or-
we don't.
Oof.
So this is a part of the episode where I talk about how to get my boy, right? The FBI, CIA, Marky, Elon, whoever it is.
You got the anti sponsors.
Right? I'm just like they got my boy, right? They're trying to silence us, right? The First Amendment, okay, the freedom of speech. They know we're speaking hot fire, okay. They know that everyone's trying to be divided. We're trying to bring some inclusion and make us more into one alignment. But like, hey, there's another option out there. You don't have to be red pill.
Options. There's so
There are
many
lots
more
of-
options. Oh my god.
I mean, at least based on what I see in my little world bubble, it's like it's either blue pilled, red pilled, and that's it. They got him back. Is he back?
Wait. We gotta check if he got bored or something, right?
No. Just
Oh.
can't speak great.
Oh.
So you were talking about you got cut off after Cardi B.
Oh yeah.
something.
So Cardi B sued Tasha K, because at least based on what I'm seeing here, she's sued Tasha K for defamation of saying that Cardi B was a prostitute. She had herpes, other sexually transmitted disease. She used drugs like cocaine and cheated on her husband at the time, Offset, which was not
Sounds
true.
jealous.
Proven to court. And Tasha K, and I listen, when I tell you I do not like this YouTuber,
Can I be messy?
not as it
for a second? Even if
Go-
it was true.
What is the point?
Even if it was true, why you telling on someone like that?
Are we just
fun.
snitching now? Oh, I thought the rules were different.
we don't have decorum anymore. Look at our president. What are you talking about?
Ooh, valid
better.
points. Valid points.
Right?
Although I would
What?
hope we could not take cues from him.
Right? I mean,
He's the worst role model on planet Earth.
there are some people who said that he's literally heaven sent from God or God from heaven sent. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? But if I'm holding this YouTuber to a high standard, like, hey, why are we doing this thing? The president, right? The president. The man is literally a 80-year-old diaper wearing baby who cries about every three things. People's like, I don't like you, and he goes like, well, I don't like you either, and you're banned. Get out of here. Oh, no. All right. All right. At least I'll say it, like, as a YouTuber, all right, you're just saying things. Does it have some damage? For sure.
Yeah.
There are some damages, but it's not on the same scale or the same impact as a
course.
President or a leader of any nation.
Yeah, it's expected of an influencer / YouTuber. Okay, so
Yeah.
so you're okay. So that's the background on her, and she's gotten in this trouble. But your wife sent you a video, right? First, what
Yeah,
did
she
your
did.
wife say about this video? Like, how did it come about?
So she just texted me randomly. She's like, "Hey, I know you don't like her, but
A great opening.
But
Great opener.
but I think you should talk about this in the podcast." And I was like,
Mhm.
"All right, fine. I'll listen to it." Right? I listened to it. I watched the video. It was like 1 minute long. Whatever the video was about. I was like, all right, it's fair. I think it's worth to speak about to some degree.
All right. So, in your opinion, what did she say in the video? And oh shit, I should have it pulled up. I don't have it pulled up. But go ahead.
Can I? Go ahead. Hold on.
You
Let me
can just go ahead and
let me see if I can
see
share
if
it
you're
on
able
my
to pull
screen.
it up and share.
Because
I'll share for the Taraban one.
Let's see. Gotta go. God damn, I sent a lot of messages to my
All
wife.
right, parts that will be edited
Check the
out.
chat with me
Parts that
then.
will be edited out.
Right?
No
It
problem.
should be.
No, that was through text. I'm on my computer.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
is it? She sent to me. Oh, jeez, man. You know, looking back through all these memes right now, all of them sending my wife. I'm like, we do actually have a semi-healthy relationship. It's nice.
Consistent memes are, in fact,
Yeah,
an
it is.
indicator
Strong
of good
meme game.
relationship.
No lie. Yeah, like it does mean something in this day and age because like a meme can say so much in just like one thing. Here we go. I'm just gonna put this up. We're gonna do this the old school way.
Women as a whole have unrealistic expectations. And I say that because, let me back it up with some receipts. Jasmine, roll this next video real quick. Of this young lady who was at a church event, and it was supposed to be a single event, and it was supposed to encourage the single women and the single men of the community and of the church to come to church and meet each other. But what this black woman found was this.
Just sitting here thinking about how I went to singles night at church, and it was hundreds. I mean, at least 1,000. First, I thought it was 500, but the pastor said it was 1,000 singles in attendance. Like, are we all living the same life at this point? Because I've never been in a room with that many single people even thought that it was even. I thought I was like the only one left. I mean, beautiful women.
Okay, did we have to put in a beat that went that hard? Like
Hey,
while she's
Julie,
talking? Like,
I don't think
her. And there's
I don't-
something, and I'm just waiting for like Kendrick or fucking Dipset to drop something over it. Anyway, that aside, I didn't really get what the big thing was here. Is it that like, and this is of course this is always the inception shit of YouTube. It's the reaction to the reaction, and we're doing a reaction. It's like triple reaction, but what is the YouTuber confused about exactly? That there's lots of that she's surprised to hear there's lots of single people.
I think so. I think that was a whole entire shock. Is that there are so many single people today, even though you have so much access through Tinder, Facebook dating, what else? I don't know, Hinge, all these apps, right? All these different ways to meet people, right? I think that was the shock too. I think that was one, and two. I think also, at least what she said at the beginning, was like we as women have this high expectation or unrealistic expectation of, I'm going to say, heterosexual men. I'm assuming that's what she's talking about here, right? We have this unrealistic expectation of men as a whole.
So it's really interesting because when you talk about the
Right,
access,
but I
and-
didn't.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, did we?
No. Go ahead. There's a internet delay.
Oh, okay. So when you talk about the access and then you list off like Tinder and Hinge and yada yada yada, maybe I want some sponsors. I won't get specific. But we were just talking about like how much stuff that you really don't want shows up on your YouTube feeds. And for a lot of the dating apps, the algorithms are like probably, strictly legally different things, but it's kind of the same thing, right? You're not meeting people around you so much as you're meeting who the algorithm shows you. And I think that's another very interesting part about not Tasha's, but whoever she was using for receipts' thing at the end, where she was like, oh, I never realized I was never in a room with that many single people. And I was like, actually, you just didn't realize it, but you probably are. Like, there's a lack of dating going on in almost all the numbers anyone ever talks about. And the fact that you don't know that is also emblematic of a different thing, in that either you're not knowledgeable about the people around you, or your circle is so small that you don't have a good grasp on what dating's been like for everyone, which in and of itself is also a dating problem. Because
Yeah.
we used to date people who were around us to make community with us because that's how we got to know them. Now we mostly date strangers based off of some sort of algorithmic match.
Yeah, it's you bring up a few points here. One is kind of like I'm just there's a level of inception here, kind of. I'm just trying to put together, but I do understand the initial kind of confusion of why there are people who don't see the current state of dating the same way. Because some people are perhaps serial daters, married, or expect, or in long-term relationships, and still are talking about dating as if they know what's going on. I think that's, and even the people who are single and talk about dating, not us, because we're that's why we do this. We're, not, like I said, not one pill. But I think that's the other thing. There's so many solution men and women out there. Here's the solution. Here's the solution, and it's such shit marketing because there is no one solution. There is and this is the result of that. There's a ton of single people listening to a ton of other single people or married people who don't know what's going on, listening to a ton of shit advice. And I was wondering, though, maybe she says it later, what she meant that our standards are so are like too high. I think there's standards that should be high, and I think there's standards that are not, that should be valued the way they are. It depends what we're talking about here. A standard can be respect. A standard can be 6 feet, 6 figures, and a beard connect.
We could unpack that. I mean, listen, we don't have more than what we have, just that 1 minute thing. But I think the portion which she just said women. Again, I'm thinking the aspect of just heterosexual women, of women have these unrealistic standards of men, or like we have this dream ideal man, and they try to take whoever they date to fit into that idea, like mold them into this thing or this idea. And whatever idea it is, this is my therapist. So whatever ideal person you have is just anxiety. That's all it is, right? The ideal person you want does not exist.
No, I get that part, but why is it anxiety? Explain that part, because that part is a little confusing to me.
Yeah, so the way my therapist explains anxiety is just things you just cannot control. That's all it is. Is a fear of things you cannot control. So the idea of whatever you want, and then the response to it rather is like you want this person to be this thing, this comfort, whatever this thing is, right? And if they're not fitting that mold, that means you can't control them, which means then your anxiety increases, right? So the ideal person is just anxiety. The ideal life that you're living is anxiety, right? Oh, if I have X amount of money, I'll be fine. If I have X car, if I date X person, if I go to this vacation at this time, my life will be so much better. No, that's just anxiety. It's just fear of things you just literally cannot control by itself, right?
The other way I've heard it explained is it's like your brain's like a problem-solving machine, like the ones they're trying to replace us with. And another way it does its job is by employing your imagination, and your imagination will create a scenario that helps you feel ready or safe. And the line between that and generating anxiety is how much you live in that versus in what is.
Yeah.
Interesting. That gap between what your brain is creating to deal with that situation and your reality. I see. Okay, I understand it now. But the question I would ask, and I said this in our very first podcast, like, ask yourself, does this person exist? And to figure out that, there has to be someone that got close. Like, it can't be that you've lived your entire life, you're 35, I'm just saying my age, and like nobody's even come close. Because if that's the case, you want a Disney character. You want to date a Disney. If that's the
I
case,
mean, they're also flawed, but yeah.
they're also flawed. Yes. Look at this colonizer that wanted Pocahontas. But yeah, Pocahontas was my when I was a kid, I wanted to marry that woman. But I was a kid. Okay.
For me,
And I wanted to share her land, unlike that motherfucker. But anyway, it's not like I'm not mad at a fake Disney character, but I do think that some people are. I think some people are mad at this ideal doesn't exist, and you should ask yourself like who came close. Simply put, even if the relationship didn't work out, there has to be somewhere on the progress bar of that motherfucker. That progress bar got to move. And for me, there are people that I was like, okay, nothing is ever perfect. We throw that out there all the time. But there have been people that it's like, okay, that resemble certain things, certain combination of things that exist in a person, and they just happened to not want to take me seriously in that way. But at least I know certain categories can coexist within a person. Okay. If you haven't found anyone that's come close, especially to the ones that you claim to be most important, and most people, when you ask them, the physical is not what they say is most important, whether or not that's what they filter for something else. But they'll say things like has a good heart, is intelligent, is funny. And it's like, okay, but I'm sure you found people that have some of those things. So there must have been another one that was the filter out. Like I'm applying now to so many jobs, and the ATS shit filters out your resume, like automatically. If you must have filtered out, like yeah. So I think that is a problem. I do think it's a problem for women, but I think it's a problem for men too in other ways. I think that women have internalized certain gender norms for men that they still search for in a world that is changing. And men, for lack of a better idea, just don't fucking think and are just basically going for sometimes who will go for them. Like the ultimate settle response. It's like, well, it's that time in my life and I want kids. So yeah, and she was there. Like it's like you hear like this way overthink, like I said, like Disney thing with women sometimes, and with men it's just like duh. It's like she was there. Like these are both problems.
I think it's always interesting though because you can settle wrong, and that's a bad thing to do for the health of a relationship. But you can also we were literally talking about it a second ago, right? You can also settle in a healthy way that's like, hey, I had this idealized picture in my head, but like I actually have to be in a relationship with another person, and that's gonna require mutual buy-in. So how do I get to mutual buy-in because I really like this other person?
Yeah. It's a good way to put a mutual buy-in. My example was always it takes two keys to shoot the missile. But
Yo,
I mean,
yo.
yeah, that's
Listen,
one way
listen.
to
the fact that we're almost in a fucking war is like
Listen,
Anyway.
Evan,
seconds to
by
midnight.
the
Of course,
time
yeah.
by the time this episode comes out, it will be
Oh.
way past the political aspect of what's going on. I hope.
yeah.
But
Oh,
at the
fingers
same
crossed.
time, comedic timing, sir. Chef's
Yeah.
kiss.
Yeah, I mean, it does take both. So I'm just gonna say real quick, my 3 factors for dating and relationships in very macro terms, and then get your thoughts on it. And then we're going to get someone else's thoughts on all of this that I found very entertaining. Um, I look at it like there's three parts, and the third one is the turning the key, right? So the first one is sort of like the checklists that we have that are more like almost kind of binary. It's like, you know, educated, even if it's not like at an Ivy League, but like, okay, this person's clearly educated. This person, I'm attracted to them in XYZ way. They like this and I like that, or they don't like this and I don't like that. They're seeing them as convenient or something, or they have similar income, like things that can be very superficial, and some things that aren't as superficial that are kind of nice. That, like, it's nice to have some commonalities. The first third is that. Then it gets from more binary to more analog, which is okay, but how do those things show up in your actual chemistry, right? Because, you know, you're checking for all these boxes, and then the motherfucker that will hike with you to top of Bear Mountain could be the most dry, boring 6 foot beard connect motherfucker that you've ever met, or can be an absolute misogynist, or likes, our baby in chief, you know, any for all we know, and assaulter. I shouldn't say baby. That's too nice. Assaulter in chief.
Yo, Evan, you
Predator
can't
in
keep
chief.
doing this, Evan. You can't keep doing this
Predator
to
in chief
me.
is better because it's a P, like POTUS. Predator of the United States. There we go. So you don't know how these things, and humor, like there's different kinds of humor, but someone that can make you, as I said, to me, this is kind of the Kevon Stage thing when he said, find someone who you could have a no good, very bad day with. And I thought that was so good. It's like, you're gonna have those days. If you really want the long term shit, the husband material, whatever, or the wife material, you're gonna have. You need someone that you could go through those things with, not just everything when then the stars align. You need someone who you could have a positive experience, laugh, be romantic when your plane's delayed. Anyway, so the number two is like the chemistry and how that feels with that person, and how those things actually, the intangible things. And then the third part is just very simply based on those first two, what are you going to do? So based on those first two parts, most of the time I'm turning that key. Based on those first two parts for someone else, even if they're positive and I they score well, the match ATS is high, match score is high, they may not turn the key. They just are like, yeah, because of this one thing, I ain't doing it. Or it could be attraction, it could be location, it could be money, it could be XYZ. So, and that last one, I think, is where a lot of men get stuck, honestly, and women. But as this is mainly a podcast towards men, too many men are, and this is where the red pill forms and all these guys, they're trying to get someone to turn that key who won't turn that key. And my point is, stop doing that. Find someone else. Stop chasing the person who won't turn the key with you, because it doesn't matter if you align on all those other things. If they flat out are not going to give you the time of day and see you in a romantic light in any sense, move on. And it's going to connect to the second thing, but I think the reason why a lot of people are single is because we don't all pick people based on the same information. So those first two things I mentioned, those first two components, can be very positive, and someone else still may not pick their partner based on that, because they're only picking their partner based on 2 check boxes and lists 1, as opposed to a holistic combination of all those categories and how it mixes with the intangibles. So that's my kind of overview of like how I see relationships and where there's a lot of points of failure in them.
So when I was in college, my dad gave me some advice. He's like, hey, he broke it down into three main groups. He's like, you gotta be physically attracted. You gotta have you gotta have sort of like the same mental wavelength, and then like last part, like personality, emotional. And he told me, Olivier, you're gonna get 2 out of 3. If you get all three, it's bullshit, right? and and I kind of stand by that to this day, because for at least for me, right? Physical, who cares, man? Who cares? Because
You got all three with your wife.
I'm not getting to that. I'm not.
Don't get him in trouble. Don't get him in trouble.
I'm not getting to that. Okay, I plead the fifth. Okay, I plead the fifth.
We still got rights for now. Yeah.
All right, I said. All right, I plead the fifth. Right, but at least for me, like at least the part of the physical, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter to me when I was in college or when I was in high school. It doesn't matter to me now, because like we're all gonna get old and wrinkly one day. You always gonna stay your character, right? Mentally, right, you might have dementia, whatever it is, but like your personality stays, right? The way that you treat people, the way you treat others, the way you treat yourself, that part of you still stays. um and at least I can say with confidence, at least with my wife, is like that if she does get dementia, knock on wood, she's a good person, right? She cares about other people, she cares about herself, she cares about others, right? Even if she forgets them, she's still nice, still cordial, all positive things in that aspect. So if you have someone who's an asshole, who's mean all the time, and they look good, the the looks are gonna fade. You can put as much plastic surgery on into it as much as you want, right? You're not gonna look good. Look at Sylvester Stallone. The man is 70. I don't know how old he is, but he still has plastic surgery. He does not look good. It does not look natural, right? I'm not saying he's not a bad person. I'm just saying just based on strictly physical appearance alone, right? It's okay to age like fine wine. That's perfectly fine. That's what I want to do. That's my personal goal. I want to be like 65 and be like, yeah, he can still get it. You know, that's what I want to be. 65, be like, yeah, he could still get it.
I mean, Selma Hayek almost 60. Damn.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but even with something like intelligence, for example, if you can be intelligent and be a mean, shitty person, you can be intelligent and not be empathetic. It's like there's a lot of book smart people now. I'm not talking about Trump, obviously, but other people
Oh,
that are like around
I'll
him.
name him. Don't worry, I got you. I'll
Who
name him. I'll name him. I got you. I got a
Oh,
couple up on
Stephen
my list.
Levin, Bannon, Dershowitz, all those.
Stephen Miller, Andrew Tate, Christy Nome. I will name him, no problem. Marco Rubio,
Well,
I have
I
objections on
wouldn't
about
necessarily
half
say
that list,
no,
but
JD
I'll
Vance.
admit-
I'm just judging it based off of the fact
intelligent.
I'm judging the fact that they all
Right.
technically are all college educated, right? Technically college educated.
Okay,
Oh,
I
is
for
that how
people like
we're
Ivy League,
sure,
yeah.
sure,
Technically,
But people, George W. didn't have the best reputation of, critical thinking, and he graduated from Yale. So, like,
I'll take him over Trump
there's-
now.
Oh, okay, but we would take
sorry.
like, my cat can do a better job.
They
But
do that in Japan, I hear.
I he so this guy could be, or this woman can be very intelligent, but if they don't have empathy with it, doesn't all these qualities only matter in certain areas. I give a bit of a caveat to yours, because to me it's like I gave you the example of the baseball analogy. There's all these different ways to rate a player's abilities. They're not all going to be 99, but they all have to exist. You can't have a player where run doesn't exist, throw doesn't exist. It has to exist. It doesn't have to exist at the highest level, but it has to exist. For example, I may be a homebody, someone else may love to go out, but I will make compromises because you are a special person in my life. And I'll go on that hike because it's with you. Like, I'm not going to be a direct match for, hiking and camping. But if that's your shit, I'll leave my opinions leave the rest to the Bears to myself. And because we took so much from them, just saying.
Took a lot of L's that week.
Anyway, so we got you got to make I'll compromise. I'll dig a hole and make marshmallows and shit. If that's really what you want, and everything else is good, fine. But you know what? When you find someone who does things like that, it actually means a lot. Like, it means a lot when someone goes along with something because they know you like it and you're passionate about it. So anyway, I think that I'm just keeping those factors in mind that Olivier said that the other thing is that I do you gotta, if you're gonna be in a long-term relationship with someone, I have a very wide spectrum of attraction, but I'm sorry, you gotta like their face. You're waking up to it every day.
You know what?
You are waking up to that face every day. So face is the most important thing to me. Everything else I can have a lot of leeway on. But I have to be attracted to your face.
Kevin, I'll take that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna no. I think so. The thing with physical attraction, and this might be a me thing, is I'm like, it's low on my list of like priorities in finding a match, because if we take it the way that your father talked about, and I was ranking the three, I was like, physical attraction's like one of the first ones that disappears, because if the other two things are a match, that's infinitely more attractive in infinitely more stable ways over the long term.
Agreed.
Like, even in my own dating history, like, the most attractive people I've dated weren't my best relationships or hookups, even, because it's like, yeah, you were really hot, but that was all there really was between us. Am I still thinking about it? Not so much. Am I thinking about how well I connected with people who were less attractive, air quotes? Yeah, because those were much more fulfilling and better experiences.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Sorry, I think you're breaking up. I heard the air quotes part, and yeah. Sorry, what'd you say after that?
Basically, I said I've had much more fulfilling and memorable relationships that I look back on more fondly and more often with people who I wouldn't say are like in the top 10 attractive people that I've like dated or hooked up with or what have you. And it's like, yeah, because you can't be so hot that I won't care about what kind of person you are. It's just not available to me.
Oh, of course not. Of course. Like, but here's the thing. Like, no one likes to know. It's more, will the attraction grow? There's no way. In my opinion, there's no way you're going to be in a relationship with someone you're not attracted to. Also, because if they ever knew that, they'd feel awful.
Yes.
So this thing with attraction is like, it got to be there. Question is, do you understand the way attraction can work? And I have learned that I have a very wide spectrum of attraction. I've dated all body types. I love, as a short guy, I love tall women, and I love short women. I love women who are curvy, and I love women who are slim, and every part of the damn world. One time, a woman's was literally writing my whole global fucking like escapades on a piece of paper because she wanted to know that. So that was a great exercise to never have with someone you're dating. She wanted to know. But anyway, like, it has to exist. How it exists, I think, is something that we don't completely understand. Attraction can grow. Attraction doesn't always start the same way, and it can show up in different ways over time. And because of the other things you both mentioned, the character of the person and your enjoyment of them, use that to give it time and see if everything else is there, and it has to be there. But if those things are there in a meaningful capacity, then yeah, I do think you should see if it can grow. But it's not fair to any of us if at the end of the day you're not attracted to me, because I don't want to hear that. I'm sure you wouldn't want to hear that. And I don't see it lasting. So I think it's how attraction, like I used to think that I have to be interested in a woman in this exact same way she's interested in me from day one. And I've learned that it's okay to grow on someone. It's okay. I know some guys don't want to hear that, but I've accepted it because no woman dreamt about dating a short motherfucker. So I, after just a period of time, just accepted that I will never be that, but that's okay because after they meet me, it can become something.
I just want to add a little meme of just being like, "Hey, Evan, what's your type?" Yes.
Yeah, just show planet Earth.
That's.
Is she from here?
Is she from here? I like.
Is she from
I like that.
Earth? Yeah. So anyway, I want to go to now someone else who had a very interesting thought. I'm just gonna do this. This is the Bronx way, okay? We're just doing it this way.
Yeah.
Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is most men blow the first date. So, as a man, it is hard to get a date with a woman. You generally either have to approach a number of women in real life or swipe through hundreds of profiles online before finding someone willing to give you a chance. Both are difficult to do and require different skill sets for success. However, just because you're able to get a date with a woman, that doesn't mean that it's smooth sailing from there on out. All it means is that you've passed through the first of many, many filters in the funnel. And on a date, things can go wrong in a multitude of different ways at nearly every moment. Fun. And indeed, the fact of the matter is that most men blow the first date. And I'm here to tell you why that is the case so you can prevent it from happening in the future. Okay, now when I say that most men blow the first date, you have to understand that on some level, if you actually succeed in securing it, the first...
Of course, our moment of capitalism in the minute of this. What the fuck is this?
date is yours to lose, men. It is yours to lose. And what do I mean by this? I mean that if a woman is actually going to block off her calendar, put on makeup, get dressed up, leave her house, and go out to see you, as opposed to seeing anyone else in the world, when she could be sitting at home in her sweatpants, who, at least at the time she made the plan, is more than 50%. So
I'm gonna pause at different points and want to pause there. Also, it's frozen first. Oh, I see Olivier. Okay, I think you're both good now.
Yeah.
So I just want to first break that part down because I disagree with him. I think that you're yours to lose. I think unless you have a history with that person that is like of interest, and you could tell this person was looking forward to the date and they really liked you, and you've probably already met them, but this is not, you didn't go on an official date. If it's a complete stranger, and if it's someone you match with online or you barely knew, just gave her your number, I wouldn't say it's yours to lose. I would say that you're gonna go out with someone who, yes, hopefully made the decision to show up, but that's giving too much credit. People go outside all the time, and I know a lot of women who don't go outside in any capacity. Sometimes, yes, maybe if it's down the street, but even down the street, there's some women who like, I got to prepare for outside. So it's not such a big deal to me that she decided to go outside and meet someone new, perhaps in a romantic context. It is a big deal if it was a big deal made beforehand, like the person communicates, really liked you and is really excited. So I think some people just go into a date literally thinking this. Why not? I don't got anything better to do. Not everyone goes in the date thinking the same thing, but what do y'all think?
Sorry, kid. I'm trying to At least for one, I don't agree in the same aspect. Like, yeah, it's your date to lose. I don't. I listened to this one rapper. I forgot what his name off the top of my head. Connor Price, right? And I'm gonna paraphrase his rap lyric. Essentially, um, you take an L and you earn experience. That's what learning is, right? And in the sense of like you go on a date with someone, it doesn't go well. All right, cool. Now you have a chance to reflect on yourself. Like, all right, what did I do wrong? How can I do better next time? And I don't like the aspect of thinking of like when you go on a date, you're there to lose. If you don't get a second date, you're losing. No, my God, you're gaining experience. All right. We all go through the cringe moment. We were all went through high school, middle school, college, or not college necessarily, but like we've all gone through the cringe moment of like, I don't know how this is gonna work. I'm nervous. I have a lot of anxiety inside. I don't know the proper ways to make sure that you're comfortable and I'm comfortable. Everything's good and dandy, right? So I don't like the aspect of like, all right, you going in not for me, it's like it's pressure enough to go on a date, right? Now you go into like, oh, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose if I'm gonna take a date. If I'm gonna take a date, I'm gonna lose. If I don't get a third date, I'm gonna lose. If I don't kiss her on the first date, I'm gonna lose. If she's just laughing at, I'm gonna lose. Nah, relax, chill out, right? If she's comfortable and you're comfortable and there's no lawsuit at the end, congratulations, you've won. Right? You've won.
There's no lawsuit
If
at
you
the end.
because there are lawsuits at the end of first dates. You think I'm shitting you? No, there are lawsuits after the first date.
Well, a lot of men don't understand what consent means, but that needs its own episode.
I mean,
Um,
yes, absolutely. But like,
Oh, bring me back to that
it's
one. I love that topic.
yeah.
Well, I guess
um
we should finish the episode first. Maybe you won't want me back. But no, exactly what Olivia is saying. The framing of all of this is really like a scarcity mindset. Oh, this is a competition that you can win and lose at. It's like actually that's a person over there. You talked to a person and decided to go someplace and do something together. If you're playing laser tag against each other, yeah, you could maybe lose. Um,
mhm.
I will leave it up to the individuals to decide whether winning or losing at laser tag on your first date is a better decision. But if you don't know that, that's something you should talk about on the way to planning the second date, maybe. Um, but yeah, the framing is very much sort of it's the red pill thing. It's like, hey, I'm here to give you advice, but also all of this is scary and dangerous. You need to get everything exactly right. Women are hand grenades. It's like
Right.
people actually close, but they're people.
That right. And honestly, if you feel like you need to tiptoe or on eggshells in order to win lose, you're in the wrong place. You should have enough confidence first to believe that you're enough of a man that that ain't the case. Okay, I'm surprised Mr. Alpha Wolf isn't thinking about, that in these forums. So that's one. Two, you're putting more pressure on yourself, like you said, something that's already pressure packed, and you're basically made this almost like a code. It's like I have to do these things right, or the code doesn't work. Like if I miss this one part, whether it's opening a door code or like coding like in software, it's like one little thing, right? And
Mhm.
you fail. So that's not a way to go into anything because we're people. You're gonna say no one. What I used to, and to an extent,
You lose Kevin. You lose
I'm
Evan.
here.
You lose Evan.
Oh, anti-sponsor struck again.
and like think of if you could put this in a line score of a pitcher, and like I stopped doing that, or like over the past like 5-7 years, or I just make a lot of them like really good line scores, because like we can't. He's asking for you to do what I call a post game. He's just asking for you to just post game the shit out of a first date. How did I do this? Did I could I have done this layup? I could have done the dribble pass? And it's like you're overthinking that. And I'm sorry, just the way he says so much shit, like it takes all the fucking romance out of it. People are not technology. They're not computers. think about romance. Romance can be funny, it can have fumbles, it can have this and that. But someone that is a good romantic partner will see through those things and laugh with you. Basically, he's giving advice for how you can impress the Stacy and get the Stacy to give you a second date. That's really. Do you know, Kevin, what a Stacy is?
Vaguely, it's one of those red pill terms about like it's a alpha but women,
Right,
right?
right, like the ultimate
Yeah.
woman, right. So that's all. So much of this red pill advice is geared towards getting people who are this close to not liking you. It's a
It's
stupid thing.
so. Uh,
Instead of that, build reasonable, decent connections, even if with a casual partner. Don't try to just get someone to like you or try to get someone to think you're an alpha for a moment or something. It's the real you there, and that's what you should be working with. But we're gonna get into that in a second, because next he's gonna say some wild shit.
Sorry, I just want to add on at least
Oh yeah,
I just want to add on at least for some guys who like sports, right? I love sports, right? I love playing basketball. I'm not good at it. I love playing soccer. Not good at that either. Played American football in high school. That was it. Okay. My advice, at least when it comes to dating, think of it as like when you're on a good date, right? If you play any sport, you go into that flow state where you're not thinking about anything. Things are just
Mhm.
you're having fun. Things are just flowing, and things just moving. It's whatever. Things just chucking and jiving. Things are coming and going, right? Whatever it is, right? And it feels good. She's laughing, you're laughing, and then like at the end, like you maybe get a hug, maybe you get a kiss, right? And then she's like, and she says like, "Hey, I want to do this again." Right? If you have that flow state, congratulations, you have a good date. But the way you get to the flow state, you have to practice. You're gonna have to fumble the ball. You're gonna have to miss your shots. You're gonna have to mess up so many goddamn times before you get to that flow state. Okay. Again, that natural state where things are just going and it feels natural. Like you're kind of like almost like as if you ask yourself, like, where have you been all my life? Right? That one of those type of questions. Or like, how come I didn't meet you sooner or earlier? Whatever it is. It's because you had to practice. Okay. You're not thinking to yourself, oh, I lost that game. Oh, I did so bad. No, you think about that flow state, that little moment of like things are going perfectly fine. Nobody got hurt. Everyone had fun, and it was all good. Okay, that's what I got to say about that.
I'm sorry. Are we talking about practice? I'm talking about AI earlier.
Yo, listen,
Anyway,
he's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite players. He's one of my favorite players, and that moment was so damn good.
I know.
It was so
Um.
good. Oh,
So anyway, all right. And my son is here. I don't know if he has anything to say.
Probably we'll hear from chat.
Anyway, yeah. All right. Let's see
Guys
what.
are snatching defeat from the jaws of success. Like I said, if a woman shows up, she's more than 50% interested in you. But think about it. How could that possibly be the case? If you picked her up in real life, you probably just had a few minutes of actual interaction. And if you met on a dating app, it's possible that you've never actually seen each other or spoken to each other in real time. If a woman agrees to a date, she can't really be interested in you because she doesn't really know who you are. She has very little information on which to base that decision one way or another. She's not in a position to evaluate who you are as a person or as a potential lover. This is something that is really important to understand. She's there on the date not because she's attracted to you, but because she's attracted to her idea of you.
All right. So before he goes on, and that part I agreed with until he, you had us in the first half. Not gonna lie, that type of shit. So that part alone, I do agree with to an extent that we all do this. It's not a gender thing. it's kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Olivier, about your therapist talking about the anxiety over this person, whether or not they exist. Okay, that part I think is true, and we have to break that idea with a real person as soon as possible, because a lot of men are chasing fantasy people that don't exist, or putting a fantasy reality in a real person and chasing that. And women, the same thing with men that, are not going to change because they ain't that character. You chose the wrong character. You got to find a new character. So like when we played Street Fighter. But anyway, yeah. So first thoughts on that, kind of relating to what we talked about earlier.
Yeah. So I think you said it a second ago, but like there's this thing I learned about in high school called the philosopher's trick, where you basically set up the context for something so that everything else you're about to say can kind of go unquestioned. That's probably a horrible explanation, but let's roll with it.
No, I get
That's
it.
me employing the philosopher's trick, maybe. But in this scenario he is describing, his whole point boils down to, you got this number or you got this date off of with very little info, very little conversation, very little actual getting to know this person. And then he hyper focuses on the fact that, like, as a man, you don't know anything about this woman. And it's like, right, but that either means that you did all the talking so she never shared anything, or you both haven't talked very much, so neither of you knows much about each
Right.
other. And if all of this, oh, she's going on this date based off an imaginary you, is true for her, in what world is it not also true for you, who is also the person going on this date in this exact same scenario? There isn't
Right.
a special thing going on here. You saw someone you wanted to go on a date with, they said yes, and you supposedly didn't really connect much more than knowing that there was a date planned. Debatably a bad idea, in my personal opinion, but entirely reasonable, because a first date with a stranger is a, hey, is there more than vibes here? Or is the vibe here, period?
Mm-hmm.
It's
There
not a
was
get your
a
war paint on moment. Let's get tactical and start drawing up the plays.
fucking doing the Madden thing, the fucking lines and the X's and shit.
Make sure
Um,
that when we get to the door, I'm 2 paces ahead so I can.
Blitz here. Um, yeah. So I think a lot. Yeah, that's true. There's so much you don't know about a person after one date. There's you and like you mentioned earlier, he's not just putting this as pressure. He's putting this as this lopsided thing where the man almost has less agency because she chose you. It's like, we chose each other.
Ooh.
And that's, to me, that's a masculine move. To it's just so weird to me how so many of these red pill or red pill adjacent advice takes away our agency. Like, no, I also have something to say in the people I choose to go out with. It's not, but if you're looking for getting the Stacy, right? And that's, I don't know how you're, I guess, and you're supposed to procreate with her at some point. I don't know what happens after this. Do you make little Stacys and Kens? I call it Chad GPT.
That's pretty good.
That's what I
What if
call
Stacey
these
doesn't want to,
motherfuckers.
though?
What is what?
Second?
But what if Stacey doesn't want to procreate with you? Like, she's like, I just want to date you and just hang out with
Right.
you. And I don't want to procreate.
Well, I don't
Is
know
that-
who's at the top anymore. Like, are we going the Elon Musk way where you have 14 kids? Are we going to be a lifelong bachelor and have a million Stacys? Like, I don't know what the top of the food chain, the alpha chain, supply chain is anymore.
From my understanding, the end goal is to have one traditional wife or one woman who is
Trad wife.
submissive, right? One trad wife, one submissive wife who agrees to your bidding and doing for the rest of her life, and you have a bunch of kids, right? That is theoretical. I understand. My question is, what if you go on a date, multiple dates, whatever it is, you get married, you guys have multiple conversations, and she's like, I don't want to have kids. Are you then a loser? Is that what it is? You got the Stacy, but you don't have kids. Are you a loser now?
But,
I need to
but
know.
Olivier, remember, you are her lone attention partner, but she does not need to be your lone sexual dealer. She does not need to be your only sex dealer. This was from a previous
So we
video. you said.
so what you're trying to say? I'm a cuck. Is what you're trying to say? I'm a cuck now? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, you could just have
No, the
sex with other
other.
women.
She would be the.
Oh,
yeah.
it's reverse. Oh, it's
No,
reverse
no,
cuck. That's what it is.
remember
Oh,
what he said? He said she can have you are her primary attention dealer, and what's analogous to that is that she doesn't have to be your only sex dealer. Other
Yeah,
women can be in the equation. You just need to give her the only masculine attention that she will get to fulfill it, and not get other things from Instagram or randos outside. And while you do that, you could fuck other women, because that makes sense. Because women don't like sex; they like attention. Attention is sex, right?
I teach middle school kids, right? And I hear some dumb shit on a daily basis. But it's always worse when it's an adult who has a PhD, a doctorate that says more dumb shit than the kids. At least with the kids, I'm like, you know what? You're just a dumbass kid, right? You're just a dumbass kid. You don't know better. So therefore you can't do better. But when you're a grown ass adult, right? I'm assuming Dr. Taraban is 40. I'm assuming he's at least 40. At least 35. Right? You've been an adult for 17 years.
Nah. I'm not. I don't look that young. That motherfucker, no way he 35.
You know what? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's
jeans or whatever they were saying in that commercial.
Oh. And that he gets money for this, but we've long lost the handle on that one.
Dr. Orion Taraban. Let's see how old he actually is. I'm not saying that this is definitely like the end all be all for me.
The answer is too old for this, but
according to one source that I have, which is semi-reliable, right? Famous birthdays. Dr. Taraban Sycax is 43 years old. Okay,
I knew it.
Right, all right. You've been an adult. You've been an adult for over 18 years. Shut up. After a certain point, respectfully, I respect your doctorate degree. I respect your PhD, whatever it is, whatever license you have. I respect it. But at the same time, though, I know we have to do more. I know listen to more of this shit. I know.
But he has more to say.
I know he has more to say.
Raw material to serve as the basis.
No. The big turn fucking twist has not come yet.
I know.
That she subsequently elaborated for herself. This means that she filled in the sizable gaps in her knowledge base with positive fantasies of what she would like to encounter there. And the higher her attraction, the more positive the fantasies she elaborates, until she's more or less attracted to the idea of who she wants you to be or hopes you could be. Okay? And that's why she's there. It's this fantasy in her mind that motivated her to leave her house and meet up with, in many cases, a total stranger. So you can appreciate that this fantasy is a powerful thing. But here's the thing, guys. You don't know what that fantasy is.
Again, the fantasy's also, why not? But we'll get back to that because I got nothing better to do. Quite a fantasy.
This is really important to appreciate. You don't know what that fantasy is. It exists in the covert recesses of her private consciousness. So how do men blow the first?
Wait. Your moment of capitalism from one of the General Motors.
They show up on the first date and they try to impress the woman. And And they generally do this because a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. They do this because they watch some YouTube videos about what women want and they learned about hypergamy, and they think women are attracted to money, status, and power.
Where'd they
No
get that
problem.
one?
I'll make sure they know how much money I have, how much status I enjoy, and how much power I yield. Basically, they just need to know that I'm a high-value man, and they'll be begging for it. Now, this is not entirely wrong, but in terms of seducing a particular woman,
Seducing. First of all, we are no longer on a date, gentlemen. We are seducing. Seduction. Take her to that Red Lobster and seduce her ass.
I mean, if you got it like that, you should definitely be seducing on a date. But like,
If you got it like that,
if it's
you got
a
it
stranger,
like
you
that.
probably want to check some stuff first.
No,
Probably a good idea.
Kev, you missed the point. You missed the point. If you got it like that, why going to Red Lobster?
I mean, you ain't never had the cheddar biscuits?
Yeah,
It's delicious. I'm just saying, if you are a high value man,
You a high
tall,
value
driving
man.
six
It ain't a
figure
thing.
cars and all these things, why are you taking her to Red Lobster? Red
Why
Lobster
not?
should be a lunch on a Tuesday for you, sir.
My favorite part about that little bit just then, where he's talking about the like hypergamy and the 6 feet, yada yada. It's like what he described isn't super different from going on a first date with someone, and imagine the whole time they're just giving you a conversational version of a supervillain monologue. That's what that is. Like, oh, talk about how much power you wield, talk about how much status you got. So that's supervillain about to lose because he's so full of himself stuff. And
But he's attractive because he's a supervillain.
yeah, because
And
he's
he's-
got money, power,
and he's
status, and
6
stuff. But like, that's
and he's
also
6
why
feet
he's
tall.
about to lose, because he's
They like that Lex
self-absorbed.
Luthor.
And I guess to the doctor's credit, he is saying that's a horrible idea. But at what point do you need someone to tell you, hey, when you're on a first date, you don't break into a supervillain monologue? That's probably not gonna work great. You
No,
know?
What he's really saying is about my earlier videos, because he talks about all of this as if it is describing most women. So basically what he's saying is that even though it does describe most women, because he just said now there's some truth to that, and there's some truth to it with some women. Again, our lack of agency is astounding. Don't date those women. There's others. But that's not what's important. We have to get those women. We have to get the women that like men that have those things, including things that superficially we don't have. So all of this, again, seduce. Seduce is, of course, it's nice. Sometimes there is seduction going on first date, but that's not. You don't like I said. You don't enter the TGI Fridays. You don't enter it. Seduction mode. Okay.
You at
Seducing.
least got to get your waters first.
like you gotta. I just say allow romance to grow. Allow it to grow. Give it some seeds. Give it some suggestions, some nudges, and allow it to grow. If you're thinking of like you're a seduction artist, don't think about seducing someone. First of all, it's the dumbest. If you got to think about seducing someone, it ain't happening. Okay, seduction just happens. Like Prince said, and I'll quote for the umpteenth time: "Sexy just is." Okay, it just is. So if you got to think about seduction, it ain't happening. But let's see what happens after we seduce in the Burger King.
it is mostly wrong, especially given the fact that men tend to go about demonstrating their value in such inelegant and ham-fisted ways. Too many men think that bragging about their professional exploits or their lifestyle for an hour or two will get them laid. And it won't. It will generally only get them angry. Now, before I go any further, if you're liking what you're hearing, please consider sending this video to someone who might benefit from its message, because it's word-of-mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow. You can also hit the
Look at your apartment. We ain't trying to make the channel grow. Okay, it's always the rich people.
Super thanks button. So those 3 little dots in the lower right hand corner, and tip me in proportion to the value you believe you've received from this video.
Tip us.
Your support makes all of this happen. So thank you. Now, the question is, if the general truths about hypergamy are correct, why doesn't this strategy work? It's simple. In the act of trying to impress a woman, you will inevitably reveal more and more details about who you actually
I just want to say it's coming now. This is the thing that. So get ready. Get ready.
are and how you actually live. And the likelihood that any of those details will actually correspond with the fantasy that any particular woman has in her mind about who she wants you to be or hopes you could be are functionally zero. At this stage of the game, your actual self has a near zero probability of according with the woman's private fantasy about who you might be. And remember, it's the fantasy that is actually motivating her to be there in order to explore the possibility of some kind of future together. Men, you do not want to disabuse a woman of her fantasy of who you are too quickly. And every time you open your mouth, you chip away at that fantasy a little bit more with every word that you say.
Upwork is our one-stop shop for hiring. We can find,
You
hire,
don't
Hey,
want to
this shit ain't Upwork, I'll tell you that much.
disabuse.
Most men blow the first date because they spend way too much talking about themselves. My God.
All right,
On
that
a first date,
that part.
the woman should ideally be doing the vast majority of the talking. As the man, all you really need to do is to provide her with interesting, emotionally compelling prompts so that she can spend most of the time talking about herself and experiencing her own emotions.
Okay, so first of all, prompts. Right now, I have a prompt document for ChatGPT. So first, we gotta work on prompts. Okay, you ever went to a date with prompts on index cards? You ever done that? No, because that's not what normal fucking people do. We're gonna actually be attractive to women, but this is what we're out here telling men now. So, well, actually, before I finish, it's at the end. He kind of gives a.
You show up on a first date in sweatpants without wearing makeup
Oh yeah.
because you don't want to do anything to disturb the fantasy that the man might have of you too early in the courtship process. Maybe, I don't know. Otherwise, he's probably not going to stick around long enough to want to cultivate a relationship with you, possibly. You can show him later once he's already hooked, right? So it's like it works both ways. But this episode is about men, and men blow the first date by talking too much about themselves in their attempts to impress the woman. What do you see that having listened to and having experienced all of these different emotions inside of herself, and that's going to significantly increase the chances that she'll want to see you again. Ideally, at the end of an hour or two, when it's time to get up to leave, she's going to say, "Wow, the time just flew by, but I just talked about myself the whole time. There's still so much I don't know about you." And it's like, good. Because the longer we draw this out, the more likely that the woman is going to be willing to stick around once the fantasy she has of you is inevitably shattered.
So don't be yourself, because fuck yourself. You suck. Okay, that's basically what I'm getting. The exact opposite. You've heard "be yourself." No. Fuck that guy. That guy got no shot.
It's kind of interesting because it's you can understand something without agreeing with it, and
Yes.
this whole video is funny to me because I would imagine that the Good Doctor does not necessarily consider himself like Red Pill or Manosphere. I would imagine if
No.
asked directly, he would reject that notion. The
I
funny
agree.
thing is, though, that like his advice is 100% for that guy because that guy is lacking in a internal sense of self-esteem and accomplishment. Like we've talked about, like you asked earlier, what's the goal? What's the like pinnacle of red pill? There is no pinnacle because you're not supposed to reach it. They are grifting you.
Mm,
You're not supposed to become anything. You are a customer, and that's where they want you to stay. You
mm.
can boil this 10-minute video down to when you go on a first date with someone you don't know very well, don't show up, because the thing that'll get you the second date most effectively is them imagining how cool you are. And it's like, but why would you waste the time to go on a second date with someone who doesn't care about who you are?
Damn.
Right. Also,
Yes.
also,
Damn.
oh my God, he stood me up. Second date, let's go. No goddamns. Yeah.
All right. So at least for me, I think about this one date I went on. Right, we matched on Hinge or some sort of online dating thing. Right, we went on the date. We went to go get tacos, and it's an awkward first date. Nothing is really happening. It's surface level conversations. How are you? How was work? How was your day? Right, and she had one drink. I had one drink. It wasn't until about 30 minutes into the date that a Childish Gambino song came on in the restaurant, and we both sang the song. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you like Childish?" I was like, "I like Childish." And then from there, we just started having conversations about music. After conversation about music, talk about like how I did social media. She's like, "Oh, I love social media and marketing." She showed me like some movies that did really good social media marketing. I showed her some things I did to the company that I work for. She thought it was cool, right? And we were just conversing, right? It was a flow state. We're going back and forth, right? At the end of the date, we hugged. We went on the second date,
Mhm.
and the second date, I'll admit now, right? In hindsight, it was a horrible second date because I wasn't thinking about it. I had no thoughts to what I was doing. I told her, oh yeah, I do a podcast. Like, come do, come check it out. Da, da, da. I forgot the fact that when I say podcast, people have an idea in their head what a podcast is, right? They expect to be in the studio, in a booth, something like that, or maybe online like we're doing, right? At the time, the podcast I was doing was Young Dumb and Broke, and we did it out of my aunt's house, right? So it's a lot of people to meet on a second date. Yes, right. So after that,
Oh, that's what you mean.
yes, yeah. So
You
after
guys
after
are on
that,
the
after that quote unquote
gauntlet.
second date or second hangout, right? I was like, we did the podcast, right? She was there. We did the podcast together. It was all right. I I did not think about like, oh yeah, that's right. People think of podcasts in different aspects. I'm just thinking like, yeah, this is just we're broke. It's in the title, Young, Dumb, and Broke, right? But hey,
Was a warning.
right? It is sort of, but also I didn't give full disclosure. Like, hey, just so you know, it's like is that someone's house? This is like basically
Yeah.
someone's basement. This and the third, right? Did I think about that? No, right? Because I don't have bad intentions to do this person. This person doesn't know me, right? They have no idea who I am, and this is a second date. If this is like a 15th, 20th date, it's like,
Right.
all right,
Right.
you kind of know what's up, what's up, what's down. But this is a second date, or at least a hangout, right? It's the second time
Mhm.
actually having a meeting. So yeah, listen, I messed up. I messed up a lot, and now I'm married with a kid. That's all I'm saying, right? You're gonna mess up a lot, guys. You're gonna mess up a lot.
Right. But look at the ultimate result. It's what many people ultimately want, at least for is which is a lifetime partner. So here's red pill and this and Tarabans about many advice towards men, generic bottled advice towards men. First, like Kevin said, it is to keep you a customer, right? Because there would be no business without customers. Period. Second, uh, second of all, you can't you can't learn this way. Their entire mo isn't about learning from your past and learning from mistakes. It's about being angry at it and blaming someone for all of it. And don't get me wrong, you could have a date with good intentions and you did as best you can everything right. Women didn't want to date me because I live in the Bronx. What the fuck am I gonna do? right?
Cowards.
Right? There's all kinds of reasons. Hey, what'd you say?
Oh, that mentioned I grew up in the Bronx. Sorry. Oh,
Kev,
Yeah.
Kev called them cowards.
Like, even my last long-term relationship, I think she came to the Bronx 4 times. I went there, I was like 40. Like, so many people just don't want to come here. But anyway,
Well, I gotta ask for some disclosure here. Was she in Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn? Did she drive?
yeah, no, she was in Manhattan.
Did she drive?
Like she was like Midtown.
It's like
She
an
had
hour.
money. Yeah.
That's like an hour. That's like an hour. Like I mean,
It
I
is
get it,
it's
but
an hour
also-
for both of us though. It's like whatever time you think you putting in, I'm putting.
I'm 50-50 on it. I'm 50-50.
Well,
Like I get it.
actually,
you know what it is? You know what it is? I understand. I just don't agree. That's what it is. I understand. I just don't
no,
agree.
but
That's where
that
I'm at.
wasn't the main reason because other parts of the relationship were very committed. So I was okay with it. Also, I had remote work and she didn't. Or
Mm.
she didn't have, well, no, she did have remote work, but not as much as me. She had to go into office sometimes. Also, like, she was a full ass attorney, and I work in, I give myself props for getting to the level of like a director level in a nonprofit. But I know, like, I'm real with myself. I know being an attorney is harder work. I know if being a doctor is harder work. Okay, I have hard life in other aspects, but when it comes to the day-to-day work, attorneys and doctors gotta really put it. There's no, so I understood that part. I still think in the future I would like the divide to be a little, not like 10%, maybe like 20, 25. But anyway, the point being that all these things I can look at in retrospect and learn from them, and also take good things. Not everything is a failure. Like we said earlier, some part of what you're looking for has to exist. If it doesn't, you are chasing like the Christopher Columbus and the Pocahontas thing. Like you're just, that person doesn't exist. So you have to be able to learn from your mistakes. But so much of this is based on blaming women, following a formula, and if you don't follow the formula, mistake, and ultimately putting on an act. This advice is to put on an act to some extent, and to another extent, to not show her who you are. The less you show her who you are, the more she keeps the fantasy. And after a certain point, she spends so much time with you that she gives in to who you are. It's such a superficial analysis. You should be proud of who you are as a man. I thought that was masculine. And show her the best of your character. If she doesn't like that, she ain't for you. It's not about getting the person at the end of the day. It's about finding the right person. And this advice is not about finding the right person. This advice is about getting a certain type of person.
Or maybe you're red pill and you try to impress other men. That's what you think about, and therefore you're gay. I'm sorry, Kev. I just have to do that every single time. I have to shit on red pill because, like, again, that's what they do, right? One of their other MOs, like, I need to impress other men so that other men know that how much I'm thinking about them, and they know how much of an alpha I am because they know that I'm thinking about them. I think about other men more than my wife thinks about other men. More than women think about other men. Then more than gay men. You're gay, and that's okay if you are. I'll respect you more if you come out and be like, I'm a closeted gay man. I respect you so much more.
For what is worth, they could be gay, but also it is just sort of the patriarchy of it all. Like the part of red pill that no one talks about is generally people, or at least like in red pill, they like no one talks about all the patriarchal underpinnings of everything.
Mhm.
Like even the
Oh, yeah.
doctor was like, "Oh, and women like, oh, when you hear all this and you're upset because I told them to not show up to your first date, other than physically." But yeah, but you're not gonna not wear makeup. You're not gonna show up in
Oh,
sweatpants.
oh
Like
yeah.
it's like
Right, right,
no,
right.
yeah, of course they're not, because there's expectations and studied reasonings behind what happens to people under patriarchal society. He's not. This video isn't about how to get a second date so much as it's about here is the game everyone got taught to play, and apparently you don't understand it, but we need to keep the game alive because that will get me
Right.
views, clicks, interest, and sponsors. So here's how you play the game since no one taught you.
Mm,
You're not here to go on a
mm.
date to meet someone. You're here to go on a date so that you can trap each other because that's more important than
Oh,
being two people figuring out how compatible you are.
oh.
Yo,
Trap
Kev,
each
call
other.
Taco Bell. Evan, call Taco Bell because this is a wrap, man. That's it. We figured it out.
Wrap.
What are we doing? It's a
You said
wrap.
that's a
We figured it
burrito?
out. It's a burrito.
Is it gordita crunch?
Gordita Supreme.
Fucking decimating the Spanish language. Um,
True.
But-
I don't even think about it like that.
but Kevin's right. Like, it's a game, but I always say, if you get someone through games will be played, and you can't get all Pikachu meme. Oh. When
I didn't
or like
really
the-
know her.
Like, I didn't realize she was gonna play games. It's like, my guy, you were negging, you were doing this. Let her
You were
have a
just-
fantasy prince in her
You were
mind.
just here for my
of
money
these
and
are
my
games.
cars. Crazy.
On my first day, I only talked about my money and my cars for 45 minutes straight. Why would
I gotta go home and mog somebody.
Ah.
Feel better about myself. But also, like, again, wide spectrum of attraction. When he, because I went, public school through and through. When he said, "What if she wore sweatpants and hair tied?" I was like, "You don't know Dominican women, because I would definitely continue." But it's like there's so many women that look beautiful that way. First of all, so you're wrong, just factually. Second of all, like, these are two, but again, he does the apples and oranges all the time. Remember, sex dealer, exclusive sex dealer, right? She can only have sex with me, but I can have sex with other women, but I have to be the exclusive attention dealer to her, right? Again, asymmetrical. And again, women don't like sex, right? Because why would sex not mean sex? Like, we can't just both enjoy sex and see it in a holistic, meaningful, intimate way. No. It has to be a currency. He speaks, honestly, currency is the word. He speaks in currencies.
It's very
that's how he speaks.
transactional. It's very transactional.
None of this is about finding love. None of this is about finding intimacy. It's about getting something. Like you said, trapping, getting to the next level of the video game.
And that's the other thing that's so interesting about the audience for these videos. Like, there's a lack of agency in the audience because that will keep them coming back. And to teach them things that would make them agentic would destroy your audience base, because once you realize, oh, my life will feel better when I decide what I want, work towards it, and don't worry so much about what other people are expecting of me outside of general communal social norms. Like, yeah, I don't need to listen to a guy who's telling me about how all women are X, Y, and Z, or how men need to X, Y, and Z, because screw all that. I'm me. Like,
Exactly.
like the gender war stuff, like if we go for long enough, people always end up finding out that my answer to the gender war stuff is functionally gender evolution, because it's like no version of X gender should do Y, Z gender should do Q. has ever read as anything to me other than this is how we continue to contribute to the patriarchy, and we need to keep doing that because otherwise we would have to make our own choices, and that's scary. And as much as we all talk about how much we want to dismantle the patriarchy, most of us appreciate some aspects of it enough that we don't want to get rid of those. And those are the
Right.
foundations.
It's like
I've
have you read Bell Hooks, Kevin?
Yeah, the will to change specifically.
Okay, so we both read The Will to Change. So she talks about how we need to offer the alternatives and the acceptance of the alternatives. So as a society, I do want to be, here for men to tell them, yes, I feel your pain, that we're not always here to accept the alternatives. That doesn't mean that you have to entirely perpetuate the worst of misogyny in order to get the best from women. I always say, don't appeal to someone's worst, appeal to their best. Those are the two main forks in the road here for dating advice. Here's how you get her, appeal to where she's almost weak. It's like going back to the video game. It's like the boss. Like the boss has one place that they're weak, and you have to keep fighting that one part. like you get that one. Like it's like, here's where she's weak. She's weak in fantasy.
It's like speed running strats. It's like learning to play a game with speed running strats. It's like if you don't hit this pixel perfect thing in this right time frame, everything falls apart. And it's like, no, that's because you're doing a weird thing. You're actually supposed to walk down the road, talk to the guy who teaches you about the attack menu. And then you're supposed to go use the attack menu. And then you're going to go down the road some more. And you're going to talk to the guy who tells you about the item menu. And like everyone needs to be perfect at all times with no available blemishes or humanity. And like this is sort of part of the outcome of that. It's like, hey, I'm a doctor who knows psych terms and how to talk to you very well and educatedly. I also understand all of the like hierarchical games that we're supposed to play. You're upset because you're not playing the hierarchical games right. Here is how you play the games right. When the truer answer to why you are upset is because everyone is subsuming your humanity into a bunch of every time you try to express some aspect of that humanity, all of the other scared people in the same scenario as you are here and ready to punish you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I explain it for the dumb people? Because remember, 54% of adults can't read past 6th grade.
I forgot. You got
it's
me.
okay. I know it's all right. No, I got you. I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Yes,
I got you.
Okay.
So basically, right?
What is the bouncy ball here? Okay.
Right. The bouncy ball is like when you want to be a better person, that requires change. Change is scary. And when you change around people around you who are at the same level, they get upset because they're like, wait a minute, I thought we were at the same level. Why are you doing better than me? So they get upset about it and call you a loser, call you so many negative names, spread rumors about you to make you feel bad. That's what Kev is saying, right? For the people who can't read past 6th grade. Okay? That's what that is.
And for those who can, the deconstructing the gender, I call them sometimes gender constraints because it's more of a constraint than it is like a norm. Sounds neutral.
That's
I
part
think
of the marketing, yeah.
Right, like norm is just, but it holds
this
us
is
back.
how things are supposed to be, yeah.
Right. Yeah, like normalizing, literally, and it gives us less of a spectrum of emotion. And think of emotion and you and all your feelings as a tool belt. It's like you're taking away a lot of my tool belts and you're leaving me with seduce her once the fucking doors swang open.
No, but like it's so true because like when you boil it down to a 2-sentence AI summary that is being authentic to what was said, it's like he said to get a second date, don't show up to your first one.
Basically. That really is a good way to put it. I might title the episode that. To get your second date, don't show up.
To get a second, so don't show up for the
That's
first
actually
one.
a really good title. To get your second date, don't show up, as a response to this guy. It like It's a trick. It's a magic trick. Even he calls it, think about it, a hack. Psych hacks. Why are we dealing in hacks? Why are we doing that? Also, for those who do play video games, even though I'm not a huge gamer, when someone fucks up, not fucks up, when someone is playing with hacks, it's actually someone the community doesn't like, because it's like that means you're playing Call of Duty at like 1,000,000 RPMs. But anyway, a hack, right? You were talking about I don't know the game, but I understand what you were saying, because there are games where you kind of have to go through. It takes time. You have to go through speaking to different people, putting A and B and C together, and like,
Developing
no, let's hack
skills.
that.
Yeah.
Let's hack that.
Like, I don't have time
And-
to develop skills. People want the dragon slayed yesterday. And it's like, no, actually,
Right.
those people are being unreasonable and you don't have to meet that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Multiple things don't apply. Everything doesn't need to be applied to everything. Your AI, every development doesn't need to be applied to everything. The way you think about AI and work, you don't need to apply to human beings that you want a legitimate, romantic, intimate connection with. And a lot of these incel motherfuckers do want that. It's like, if that's what you want, this ain't it. Right?
You
So
could literally just date your chat GPT, apparently.
you could date your chat, but and that's its own problem that we're learning about, that is replacing any form of intimacy.
I don't like to give up on people, but if you're one of the people who primarily thinks that these hacks are a good thing, I would rather you use them on ChatGPT than another human being, because neither of you deserve that.
Exactly.
I'm going to give Dr.
Use it
Teraband
exactly. Use it on a machine.
Yeah, I'm
Go
gonna
ahead,
give
Olivia.
I'm going to give Dr. Teraband some small credit, right? I do agree that if you're going on the first date and you are nervous, you don't know what to say, what to do. I do agree that, like, you know what? Allow her to do most of the talking. I agree with that part, right? Out of all of the things he said, if you're going like, shit, I have no game plan, I don't know what to do, just ask questions. If she says like, oh, I really like my job. Oh, what do you do for work? I don't know, I'm a nurse. Oh, what is that like? I don't know what it's, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but like, just keep asking questions and let her just
Right.
I agree with that small piece of advice that
Sure.
Allow the other partner or allow the other person to do most of the talking. Everything else, you could throw it out. You could for the most part just throw it out.
18. I mean, like, I could have told you that in 2006.
You'd be surprised how many people don't recognize how bad they are at active listening. So, like, in a world where this 9-minute video was, hey, on a first date where you don't know them very well, here's how you employ your active listening skills to learn more about them to better set up a future date. But Dr. Teraband showed up and was like, all right, here's the hacks. The more she talks, the less you're going to mess up. Because that's all you're good for.
You know how Samus has an alter ego?
Yeah.
You know, Samus is 2 people. Okay, you got to be 2 people.
The one she made up, who's the one we need around the most, and then the real you who needs to hide.
Coach, time out. Coach, time out here.
Okay.
I'm barely good at being one person. I'm barely good at being one person. What do you mean I gotta be 2? Huh? What do you mean I gotta be 2? I'm barely good at being 1.
It's almost creating sociopaths, because he is creating these 2 separate lanes. Like, I gotta be this version of my brain now. I gotta be Dave, and I'm Evan when I'm home, and I'm Dave when I'm out. And it's like, that sounds batshit insane. So much, you cannot hack humanity. Be human to another human. It is true, and I acknowledge, and we can all acknowledge, that just as women for centuries, millennia, perhaps, have been held to unfair standards, so have we. Patriarchy hurts us. Patriarchy kills us. It is part of the reason why so much violence is done unto us as men. and that we have committed it. So I always say when a man realizes his beef is with patriarchy and not women, it's one of the biggest ways for him to evolve. Because women, this is when the what is it? I know a lot about cars and I'm forgetting shit. The flywheel fucking flies off and overheats, and the spark plugs go out when men see a woman perpetuate patriarchy, because it's like, no, that's women problem, and it's like, no, it's like being a vehicle for something. Like, you don't have to be white to enforce white supremacy. You see it all the time from non-white people or adjacent or X or Y. You don't need to be a man to enforce I always say the first time I heard really getting shit on when I was 15, and this girl was thinking of breaking up with me, and her friend's mom came up to me and said, she doesn't need experience, but by now you do. And I'm like, I'm doing factoring. So it's like,
Foil.
Yo, hold on.
It
hold
fucking
on, wait a
did.
minute. Hold on, wait a minute.
I told you that
I'm
story
sorry.
before, Olivier.
You know what? Listen, man, I have ADHD. Sometimes you tell me stories,
It's okay.
right? Like, listen, right? I hear the stories, I don't process them
I understand.
correctly.
I understand.
So just so I can understand here,
right.
her mother came up to you and was like,
Her friend's mom.
That's
They took me to. This is they'll set up. They took me to her.
Date?
Her friends wanted to mediate, essentially, whatever was going on between us in my first relationship, and they took us to my girlfriend's friend's house and aired all their grievances.
Wait, like their grievances or her grievances?
Looking back, I think this is a traumatizing experience. And I'm 15. Yeah, I'm 15.
To get emotionally jumped? Yeah, I imagine it's probably traumatizing.
Yeah, emotionally.
They dragged you to somebody's house, then emotionally jumped you. That's
emotionally jumped. Exactly. Yeah, 2006. Anyway, but then an adult enters, and I think the adult shall act adult and probably quell this emotional jumping, as you have coined it. And instead of quelling it, she made it in a fucking incendiary, and said, "Hey, he doesn't have experience by now. I mean, she doesn't need to, but the man must." And I was like, "Thanks." So, like, thankfully, I was in a better mental. I mean, it still can really suck, but I never bought into a lot of the misogyny bullshit. But I can see how a lot of men would be confused if they hear that from a woman and they don't have the vocabulary of patriarchy, and they don't have the vocabulary of understanding all these norms and systems. And they, as many 15, 16-year-olds do, like most of us aren't reading bell hooks then. We should. I think it should be mandatory reading, but a lot of people aren't. So a lot of 15, 16, you're playing back then you're playing Halo. You're playing Halo and you're getting advice from the next idiot next door and your idiot friends who are telling you to do idiot things. But it's still not as bad as when you can go online with millions of idiots across the world and be validated in your idiocy, because that's where it's gotten worse. But yeah, they don't have that vocabulary. So I get how even a lot of men as adults think this is unfair. It is unfair, but you have to understand what the source is. The source isn't blame women. The source is this thing that we're perpetuating in the way we raise our children, the way we talk about masculinity, etc. That men have to be this, and women can women, it's like I said, we breathe the same air. Women many times hear that, and they can perpetuate it too, and it can hurt.
All right. I'm going to break it down for people who are 54% here, right?
I thought it was. It is 54. Okay, yeah.
54% of adults can't read past 6th grade. I got to break it down for them because we're gonna lose them. We're gonna lose them, right? When we start using big words like incendiary, right? They're gonna be like,
come on. If they were in the Call of Duty lobbies, they know incendiary.
They know what
The
it does.
shotgun, the
No, no,
dragon's
no,
breath.
no, 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 right. They know the example of incendiary. They don't know the definition of incendiary, right? The word flammable is a 6th grade word. You know how they probably read it? Flambale, right? Like, ooh, that's a delicious
Okay,
dessert.
all right,
All
now,
right,
come on.
yeah,
They got
exactly. They got what, Kevin?
Phonics. They still teach that
Yeah.
sometimes,
Find some
right?
phonics.
No,
we
it's
don't.
all sight reading now.
Yep.
Oh, ooh.
Go ahead. They throw it out in the world. Go ahead. Read that word. Flambale.
Stop, no.
Someone's gonna say, "Why are they teaching Spanish?" And it's like that. Not Spanish. Not Spanish. By the way, in Spanish, if you learn Spanish, your English vocabulary will improve because Spanish has many words in it that are in English but are considered higher vocabulary. Like, right here, encendido.
Yeah, same with French. I think.
Yeah,
French.
all the
English, English is a Romance language, so it like came from Latin roots, same as Spanish. And then I forget what the history is, but it's like
and
there's
Germanic too.
like there was some influence of French language. So like the general rule I learned somewhere was that like if you see a word that doesn't make sense with what you think the rules of English are, it's likely that it came from the French influence.
Yeah,
Of course,
probably.
it's the French.
Probably. All right, but anyways, but going back to Evan, so
Okay,
for those
yes,
of you who
yes,
didn't understand what he was saying here, right?
Use the Chat GPT summary. Yeah.
Right. Well, Evan was saying that he had a girlfriend,
Yeah.
right? He went to go to a friend's house, right, or his girlfriend's friend's house, and they're
Yeah,
saying like,
correct.
you need to know how to fuck, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta know how to fuck,
There
and
has
then
to be a body by now, essentially.
You got to have at least a body at this point. And
Yeah.
then a friend's mom comes in and is like, she can be a virgin, but you gotta know how to fuck at this point.
Right.
All right. You're 15, 16, my man's. What you doing? You're late.
Right.
So that's I know you
Right.
upset, but that's how they understand things.
No, I'm not upset about you explaining things to people. I'm upset at that mom from 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your secondhand empathy, Kevin. When I thought about this experience several years ago, I realized how fucked up it was.
That's wild.
It is wild to think back because it's nuts. But again, I'll try to do this so that we don't have to translate it. But I do think one of our biggest issues in regards to specifically patriarchy, but you can broaden this to a bunch of different systems, is that we are primarily trained to think of things in a team sports kind of way. So when we introduce people to patriarchy, what they tend to leave with the impression of is, there's a gender war, men versus women, and the men have been doing bad things to women for millennia. And as an intro takeaway thought, that's okay place to start. But the reality of it at a level that actually accomplishes something towards gaining everyone more of their humanity back is that it's not that you and women are on different football teams trying to win the game. It's that the coaches knew that if they segregated the teams and made you fight each other, you would never stop to think, hey, why are the coaches making so many decisions about what my life should look like? And why is that okay? And now, because the coaches don't want you to stop and think about that, and they definitely don't want you to stop and think about that with the women team, they gave the men some pretty sizable benefits so that you're too relaxed and enjoying yourself to think about that. As time has progressed, the coaches have gotten greedier. There are less benefits for everyone, and your benefits in relation to women are shrinking, namely because they shouldn't have been outsized in the first place. But because they've been set up to be in this football game versus women for millennia, and women are finally kind of getting to a place where they can meaningfully engage as humans and not just as a subservient class under patriarchy. They're enjoying their ability to be people, but our model for personhood is how much you can exploit someone. So
Mm.
they also aren't looking to look at the coaches as much as some of them are just looking to win the game more now.
Right. Right. I think that's a 50%er, Olivier.
I feel like I was straddling the line. I could understand if there was some translation needed.
But
You use the word segregated. That was bad.
They
Because
still
some-
teaching about MLK. There's no way they don't know the word segregated.
Yeah.
hold on. Listen to me, right? I once had a parent be mad at me because I told him like, hey, like your child needs a larger vernacular. They were ready to fight me over the word vernacular.
Vernacular.
Like, what are you trying to say?
Vocabulary.
It at that point didn't make a difference. Like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to do? I was like, I'm just trying to say they need to know more words. Oh, why didn't you say that from the beginning? Some of these people,
What do they think vernacular meant? Oh, I want to know.
I don't know. I don't know.
in college, a teacher thought I plagiarized because I used the word reminiscent.
What are we doing?
College.
What is happening? Ah.
Reminiscent. I listen. I'm not gonna lie. I don't use that word very often, if ever. But to say, if one of my students used it in an essay, I'm like, yeah, you plagiarized. That's straight up AI. All right.
Like, it's so funny
And
because
also,
I'm one of
no,
those
no, back
kids.
up. Maybe I don't want to be like an asshole, but like this, I've been writing like that because we had teachers that were really like saying you got to get ahead of all these other kids that are going to private school. So read this. So we did learn a decent vocabulary.
I
Yeah,
just,
but also you're in college. I'm dealing with 6th and 7th grade. If they use the word
Yeah.
reminiscent, I'd be like, where the fuck did you learn that?
Wild.
see, it's so funny because I know I was a kid who grew up like reading a ton and then like playing video games and stuff. And I know the big games today are mostly about just repetitively completing tasks with no underlying narratives a lot of the time. But
Mhm.
like I get away with looking like and sounding like I read a lot today off the back of stuff from video games I play still, because there's a narrative and they're trying to evoke feelings and emotions and storytelling, and so they write a book that you play through functionally. And so it's weird how much reading, even if it's not from a novel, has seemingly stopped being a part of our overall culture. Because like, that's reminiscent isn't a word that I got in like vocabulary and spelling. It's a thing that writers used when they were talking about a character remembering their
Right,
mom's
right.
brownies and stuff.
Right.
My man,
Right.
use the
That's
word
a really good
narrative. That's a
point.
big word.
Stop. I think you're just being mean now. Come on.
No, I am not. You don't understand what I mean here. You think I'm joking? I'm not.
I have to believe you're joking, actually. I
No,
don't
no,
I don't
no.
want
Nah,
to believe you're
he's
wrong, but I
unfortunately
have
he's
to
not.
believe you're joking for my own sake.
Because he's not. But yeah, I it's a really good point. There was someone who wrote about that actually, that you can even look at the fall off in video games, and how it used to be, there used to be more challenging. Oh yeah, dealing with failure through video games. There was a
Mhm, mhm.
difference in how we used to deal with failure, and that we failed a lot. And like like the repetitive nature you're talking about also is about like hacking, right? You hack a formula. You're not figuring things out. You know how many times we had to figure shit out? Or even if I did want to use the internet to figure out how to get through something, a walkthrough they used to call them. If I did want to, I usually read it before it was on YouTube. I read the walkthrough and was like, here's where you go to get through to this point. I'm playing like Tomb Raider, barely 3D. But like
I mean,
that was
I just
But that's
remember the last walkthrough
Tomb
I
Raider
read
was
was for Hamtaro because there was just a part in that game where I was like, I truly have the. It's actually so funny because the game is about developing your vocabulary to go on an adventure, and I truly got to a part in the game where I was like, I've used every word I know on every person in this game. I don't know what to do anymore. And then the walkthrough was like, oh, go talk to a wall. I was like, what?
yeah, I would think that. But that's what Tomb Raider was like. Tomb Raider was like, and you will find a plate. And under this plate is the key you need. It's like, yeah, thanks. Amidst the endless rubble, I'm gonna find this fucking plate. But yeah, I mean, anyway, all of that to say, we're always looking for hacks, and you can't hack this one. And
Not
to me,
not for a good ending, at least.
no. And to me, that's how you be a man, when you don't hack. Um, and instead of hacking, you learn and learn to deal with failure, and also learn to, as Kevin said, it's also not you're not against women team. As I ended one of the other podcasts with, you can't get women hating them. It doesn't. If you ever in a relationship like that, it's going to be terrible and toxic. You can't hate women et al. It's like the people who are like, well, I'm friends with one black person, and it's like, yeah, but did you think about what everyone is facing right now? Not everyone knows your friend, Dave. Okay, like motherfuckers are getting shot based on their complexion, and you're out here saying you got one friend and you don't care. It's like, anyone can be Dave, right? That's the problem. That we don't look at the world in which our friends live, and we don't look at the world in many men many times don't think 1 in 3 women get sexually assaulted. I wish more men knew that statistic. That's the world in which women
First day in
operate.
college, which might be a problem that I learned it first day
Yeah.
of college and not sooner.
Yeah, I don't think college too.
So you got to care about women to date them, okay? Like hacking
Successfully,
them. ain't it.
meaningfully, well.
Yeah. And we wouldn't want our worst experience with a man to define a woman's idea of men that we wanted to date, right? So why would we do the same thing with women? Like if I looked at every woman like that mom who told me I should have been smashing up the block by the time I was 15, you know, like,
Which is a whole other issue.
yeah.
I don't fight people, but like I want to fight her.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the anger for parts of my past. There's a lot of worse. I mean, that was up there, but there's even some worse stuff.
I think for me, it's like the adult in the room was the final boss,
Right.
not the person coming to save you.
Right. Right. I thought she was the final boss, and she would actually. That's what I would fight. The final boss would bring sense to this, but not what transpired. Sorry, transpired. Not what happened. Anyway, be a man. Don't hack. Like, use your mind, think and learn.
That's your advice, Evan.
Any other final 54% notes?
It feels so mean. It truly feels so mean.
But it's statistically true, right? Oh, another added note: 20% of adults can't read past third grade. Just throwing it out there. So, in America,
it's a reason to learn. Look, my team is the Yankees. Okay, it's not teams. You're not against team women. I always say that when people are like team this, team that. My team's the Yankees. That's the only team I'm on. I'm not. I'm team people. I'm team human. Okay. I'm not against team women.
I think my advice for those who are 54 or 20%, right? I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. I'm gonna put in the aspect of good trial and error. And in my opinion, what that looks like is you go on a date, nobody dies, nobody gets sued, and no one goes home injured. Physically, mentally, financially, you're gonna get hit. Someone's gotta pay.
You went outside. You gotta take that financial injury.
You're gonna take the financial hit, right? But as long as nobody got physically or mentally or psychologically hurt, all right, cool, right? You can go on another one. If it didn't go well, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay, right? Breathe, think about it, ask yourself, what can I do better next time? Ask your friends, right? And if they say like, oh, it's her fault, that's not a good friend. Okay, no, right? Maybe go see a priest, right? Maybe go see. Uh,
I don't know if it's going to be much better.
I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm saying at this point, if your friend's saying that the woman's a problem or the other person's a problem, that's not a good friend, right? But you need to find people to look at you and be like, hey, what happened to the date? Walk me through it, and I could tell you where you may have gone wrong, right? Maybe,
Right.
And then
right?
also a reminder: you could 100% do everything right on a date.
Right.
That doesn't mean you're getting a second one because maybe it's not a match.
And the thing is, this is where again it's like uh, a woman can do, as I've mentioned in my past, and you both have as well. A woman can do something that is hurtful and wrong and a problem. Not women et al. Let me explain what et al means, since we're on the 54%. Not as a unit, right? You wouldn't want men if you don't like men being lumped into a unit, even though a lot of this behavior is trash. But if you wouldn't want that, why would you do it for women? So a woman can represent lots of things that are terrible. There's shitty people everywhere. There's shitty people of all stripes. Okay? You encountered sometimes a shitty person. It's not, but you can't blame all women and expect to date them. You're not going to go into like you can't. And I say this for women to have a certain attitude towards all of men too. You can't find love and intimacy with a group that you categorically despise. It's not gonna happen. You need to believe in the capacity for women to be all these amazing things that they absolutely can be. And yes, I agree. If you know, like my boys when I would start dating. Well, one of them I told you, Olivier just said it was gay that I took her on a date, which was funny in itself, right? Because like I didn't have sex. Like, did you have sex? And I was like, well, it was the first date. That's gay. You took her on a date.
It's gay to hang out with women.
It's gay. I was like, what did you want me to do? Fuck on the BX9?
So gay.
That's what you want me to do?
Listen. After the podcast is over, I'm gonna take a shower, go to sleep, and tell my wife like, hey, because I'm sleeping in the same bed with you, it's gay.
If
You got married?
do anything that is not,
I got married.
That's pretty-
And I got a kid.
It's only recently been allowed for it to be gay, but hey, that's where we are now.
It's gay.
well, it's really gay if you celebrate anniversaries and shit and take her out.
Ah, damn. I did it 2 times at
If
least.
it's not just, all sex, then it's all the time. Then it's just
Listen,
not.
I'm gonna see y'all in June. Not for Juneteenth.
You can show up to Juneteenth. Why not? What you can?
Not I.
Can you
Clearly,
show up
I
with
married
her?
a woman.
Okay, well, no, you can be gay and black. What do we? Hold on.
I don't know. Maybe I'm
No,
more gay
I'm
than
telling
black.
you, it's not a. I'm telling you, it's allowed. It exists. We support them in both facets.
Evan, clip this. Please.
Of course, it just right now, right after you said clip this.
Because the CIA knew better. That's why.
There's Olivier resurfacing on Juneteenth from a cave
He truly said, and not for Juneteenth.
where he was only
I
allowed
like,
to
no,
do
you can-
man things
Hold on.
instead of psych hacking
Oh,
Alan?
man.
like they want to. You at least had a
Oh Jesus. Oh,
Oh,
they got my boy too.
damn,
See,
they
you
having
mentioned
too much fun. They got a clip. Nah, we gotta
they
cut the
got
cables.
cut them out. Cut them out.
Ooh.
You what that? You're gay and black.
We accept that over. Nah, we gotta cut the. Nah,
Cut 'em out.
we gotta cut the cords. Hold on.
Oh, you went on the first date, didn't have sex. You're gay. One of you guys got married.
So-
This stand. Oh, it's not for nothing.
It truly is crazy because it does just mean I'm making fun of you. It literally has nothing to do with liking anyone. It's just like, oh, it's so funny because it's almost come back around to the old school meaning, right? Like gay used to mean happy. You're talking about an
Mhm.
experience you had that brought you joy. And so now like you're gay. And it's like, well, but how do you mean that? Because we go back far enough, you're
This
giving
is
me a
what they
compliment.
they want to divide us. This is what they're doing. They don't like when we get together and form rainbow ass coalitions.
They said black and gay. Nah, we cutting cables. We gotta cut some cables.
My
This
wife
is
just walked
it.
past. You want me to ask her any questions?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should always have a segment where Olivier we call it Ask a Real Woman.
It's honestly fantastic segment.
What do we think we should ask based on this conversation? Something. Wait. It should be based on this strategy, right? So at what point? Wait. I have a great question. This is great. At what point did her fantasy of you, because clearly you're not like married with a child living together, so it clearly didn't work out. Like at what point did her fantasy of you dissipate? That means go away, guys. At what point did it go? Did it like? Was there no more Olivier fantasy? Ask her that. Fantasy Olivier, go away.
Shan, I have a
When did
question.
Fantasy Olivier disappear? That's the problem.
No, please, just give me a second. Give me a second.
Just, I'm with her. I agree.
At what point did your
Yeah.
fantasy of me go away?
Say, what the fuck is this?
Oh no.
Probably gonna say what the fuck.
So
Essentially.
So at
What are you
no
talking
point you had a fantasy of me or an idea, a fantasy of who I was or what I could be.
Right. Say when you first met though.
Yes, the first time I met you,
Mm-hmm.
when I started going on dates with you, that's when it left. But it wasn't fantasy. It's just something I thought you were. I thought you were the type of guy that like have a lot of friends with benefits.
Okay.
Wait, yeah, what'd she say?
Okay. So at first you said what fantasy? I didn't have a fantasy at all. and then she said, well, at first when we first started dating, I thought you were the type of guy who had lots of friends with benefits.
She said you.
Which hurts because I did not.
Guys, for the 54%ers, what she said was that he is of the streets.
She thought he was following that mom from 20 years ago advice.
that he started pre-algebra. He was already in these streets.
Yo, honestly, I didn't lose my virginity until I was 19. So
You need AARP?
not AARP. I'm pretty sure mine was 20. That sounds right.
AARP
So,
is good.
I must be on my way to the home or something.
Yeah, no. And it was for me. It was basically the next year, but I missed my window, right?
No, it's not early enough for that
I
grown
missed my
adult
window.
woman.
Oh dear God.
Well, we learned a lot of lessons. Everyone in Juneteenth before FBI Jim cuts us off. I think why we got cut off is because we didn't acknowledge. Remember, Donald Trump is who we have to thank for Juneteenth. Before him, no one thought about it, and this whole Juneteenth thing is the best Juneteenth thing I ever thought I was gonna do. Okay, no one knew this before me. No one knew about Juneteenth, so we didn't honor the supreme leader, and that's why they cut us.
Yeah, I'll pass. They can cut the cables again.
You know what I'm going to say to that, Evan? Suck my left nut. You didn't come out the right one.
But like, is this on the second date or?
And SMD FT to abbreviate that for the 54B.
No, see, now I see why he gets you at the top because this
And
is,
everyone in the
I feel
Bronx.
so
No.
powerful.
Good night.
Yes.
Good night.
Oh, Evan left.
He did say good night. He was breaking up a little bit, so I'm assuming that one was intentional.
Yeah, but I can't end it because he's a host.
Okay, so then he probably didn't leave on purpose. Then I'm probably just wrong.
Man, no, the CIA, FBI, DT, whoever it is, they're listening way too well to this podcast.
Oh my god.
Oh man, this podcast is gonna be.
Truly
can't-
at some point was just like, well, I don't know how many people listen to this, but I'm gonna
Just
just
to be
start
safe.
saying stuff I believe, I guess.
I mean, I could text him, tell him that it's still going on, but oh my
Yeah, you
goodness,
already got 2 hours and almost a half of stuff to edit. Whoever's handling
it's
that part.
midnight. I gotta go to sleep at some point. So you gotta come back and all right. I just texted him. Hopefully he'll come back because I'm a guess. I don't have the host powers to officially end this. I could leave, but I don't think that officially ends this podcast. It might just keep going on.